the saint of blood and fire. They say punishment must match the crime. But how many massacres were committed under this rule? How many villages were wiped out? How many children orphaned and women widowed? And strangely, those who commanded such horrors were once called noble, wise, even holy. Yes, today we praise them. We crown them as saints, as kings, as reformers, and we pretend the past never happened. But history doesn't forget. It waits until the fog lifts, until truth breaks through the silence. Dear friends, today we go back to the ancient kingdom of Kievan Rus, a land that once united what we now know as Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus. Our story is about a princess, but not the kind who sings with birds in fairy tales. No, this princess brought death with every step. Her love turned into vengeance. Her grief became a genocide. This is the story of Princess Olga, or as some dare to call her, Saint Olga. Let's begin. Princess Olga was born around the year 900 AD. She was likely of Viking descent, part of the Norse bloodlines that had settled in Eastern Europe. At the age of 15, she married Prince Igor of Kiev. When Igor's father, King Oleg, died, Igor took the throne. But there was one tribe that never fully submitted to Oleg's rule: the Drevlians. Though Oleg had partially subdued them and demanded tribute, the Drevlians remained restless. And when Igor increased the tribute and demanded more, they refused. In 945 AD, Igor marched to the Drevlian capital to collect what was his. But the Drevlians were ready. They ambushed the prince, and their leader, Prince Mal, ordered his brutal execution. They bent 2 birch trees to the ground, tied one of Igor's legs to one tree, and the other leg to the second tree. Then they let go. The trees snapped back, and Igor's body was torn in half. He left behind a widow and a 3-year-old son named Sviatoslav. Naturally, Olga took the throne as regent, but her mind wasn't on power. It was on revenge. Then came the perfect chance. Thinking little of the young widow, the Drevlians made a bold move. They sent 20 of their nobles to Kiev to propose that Olga marry Prince Mal, the very man who killed her husband. Olga smiled. She welcomed them, and she had her guards carry their boats to the city in a grand procession on their shoulders. Then she had them buried alive in a trench. As dirt filled their lungs, she looked down into the grave and asked, "Is this honor to your taste?" Her revenge had just begun. Next, she sent word to Prince Mal, "Send your best men to escort me to your city." Unaware of what happened to the first group, he sent his finest. Olga greeted them warmly. "Rest in my private bathhouse," she said. Once inside, and she locked the doors and set the place ablaze. No one survived. Then she traveled to the Drevlians' capital and asked to hold a funeral feast for her husband. The Drevlians agreed. They drank. They celebrated until they could no longer stand. At that moment, Olga's soldiers stormed in and killed 5,000 men. Still, her rage was not satisfied. She laid siege to their capital for a year, until the Drevlians begged for peace. Olga agreed. "I ask only this," she said. "Each household shall give me 3 pigeons." A strange request, but the Drevlians accepted, eager to end the war. What they didn't know was that Olga had a plan. To each bird her soldiers tied a burning cloth, and when night fell, they released them. The birds flew home, to their nests, to their homes, and the city burned. Fires erupted everywhere. Streets, homes, barns, all engulfed. Those who fled were cut down. Only a few survivors were left alive to rebuild and pay tribute to their new queen. Olga had her vengeance, and now comes the strangest twist of all. Years later, Olga converted to Christianity. She traveled to Constantinople, baptized by Emperor Constantine VII. She returned to her people and became the first ruler of Kievan Rus to embrace the Christian faith. She promoted peace, charity, love, and in time, the Orthodox Church declared her a saint, Saint Olga, the saint of blood and fire. She died in 969 AD, and her memory lives on, as both a holy figure and a fearsome queen. So what do we make of her? Was she a monster, a martyr, a mother seeking justice? You decide. But one thing is clear. She was a woman betrayed, a heart shattered by grief. And when she struck back, she didn't just take revenge. She rewrote history.